Hi everybody. So we're going to discuss about the Comprehensive Agrarian Reform Program or the CARP. In our discussion, we are going to tackle about the history, the scopes and coverage, the beneficiaries and the issues regarding the CARP. So first off, what is CARP? CARP or the Comprehensive Agrarian Reform Program is the redistribution of public and private agricultural lands to farmers and farm workers who are landless. One of the major programs of CARP is land tenure improvement. Similarly, the department offers support services to the beneficiaries such as infrastructure facilities, marketing assistance program, credit assistance program, and technical support programs. Furthermore, the department seeks to facilitate resolved cases and deliver agrarian justice.
Pre-Spanish period. This land is ours. God gave this land to us. Before the Spaniard came to the Philippines, Filipinos lived in villages or barangays ruled by their chiefs or datus. The datus comprised the nobility. Then came the mahalikas or the freemen, followed by the leaping mamamahay or serfs and the leaping sanggigilid or slaves. Money was unknown, and rice served as a medium of exchange. Spanish period. United we stand, divided we fall. When the Spaniard came to the Philippines, the concept of encomienda or royal land grants was introduced. This system grants that encomenderos must defend this encomienda from external attack, maintain peace and order within, and support the missionaries. In turn, the encomendero acquired the right to collect tribute from the Indios or the natives. First Philippine Republic. The yoke was finally broken. When the First Philippine Republic was established in 1899, General Emilio Aguinaldo declared in Manolo's constitution his intention to confiscate large estates, especially the so-called fair lands. However, the republic was short-lived. Aguinaldo's plan was never implemented.
American period. Long live America. Significant legislation enactment during the American period. Philippine Bill of 1902 set the ceilings of hectareage of private individuals and corporations may acquire 16 hectares for private individuals and 1,024 for corporations. Land Registration Act of 1902, Act No. 496, provided for a comprehensive registration of land titles under the torrent system. Public Land Act of 1903 introduced the homestead system of the Philippines. Tenancy Act of 1933, Act No. 4054 and 4113, regulated relationships between landowners and tenants of rice, 50-50 sharing, and sugarcane lands. The torrent system which the Americans instituted for the registration of lands did not solve the problem completely. Either they were not aware the law, or if they did, they could not pay the survey costs and other fees required in applying a torrents title. Commonwealth period. Government for the Filipinos. President Manuel L. Quezon espoused the social justice program to arrest increasing social unrest in Central Luzon. Significant legislation enactment during Commonwealth period. 1935 Constitution. The promotion of social justice to ensure the well-being and economic security of all people should be concern of the state. Commonwealth Act No. 178. An amendment to Rice Tenancy Act No. 4045. November 30, 1936. Provided for certain controls in the landlord-tenants relationship. National Rice and Corn Corporation, NARIC, 1936. Established the price of rice and corn, thereby helped the poor tenants as well as consumers. Commonwealth Act No. 461, 1937. Specified reasons for the dismissal of tenants and only with the approval of Tenancy Division of the Department of Justice. Rural Program Administration created March 2, 1939. Provided the purchase and lease of haciendas and their sale and lease of the tenants. Commonwealth Act No. 441, enactment on June 3, 1939, created the National Settlement Administration with a capital stock of 20 million pesos.
Japanese occupation. The era of Hukbalahap. The Second World War II started in Europe in 1939 and in the Pacific in 1941. Hukbalahap controlled whole areas of Central Luzon. Landlords who supported the Japanese lost their lands to peasants, while those who supported the Huks earned fixed rentals in favor of the tenants. The New Republic. After the establishment of the Philippine independence in 1946, the problems of land tenure remained. This became worse in center areas. Thus, the Congress of the Philippines revised the tenancy law, or the state or fact of owning property, or the temporary possession or occupancy of something such as house that belongs to another. Manuel Rojas, in 1946 to 1948, enacted the following laws. Republic Act No. 34 established the 70 to 30 sharing arrangements and regulating share tenancy contracts. And then Republic Act No. 55 provided for more effective safeguard against arbitrary ejectment disposition of in El Pedro Quirino, 1948 to 1953, enacting the following law. Executive Order No. 355, issued on October 23, 1950, replaced the National Land Settlement Administration with Land Settlement Development Corporation, which takes over the responsibilities of the Agricultural Machinery Equipment Corporation and the Rice and Corn Production Administration. In President Ramon Magsaysay in 1953 to 1957 enacted the following laws. Republic Act No. 1160 of 1954, the abolishment of La Sedeco and established the National Resettlement and Rehabilitation Administration. Republic Act No. 1199 or the Agricultural Tenancy Act of 1954. The Republic Act No. 1400 or the Land Reform Act of 1955.
And President Carlos P. Garcia, 1957 to 1961, continued the program of President Ramon Magsaysay. In President Diosdado Macapagal, 1961 to 1965, he enacted the following law. The Republic Act No. 3844 of August 8, 1963, or the Agricultural Land Reform Code. It abolished share tenancy, institutionalized leasehold, set retention limit at 75 hectares, and vested rights of preemption and redemption for tenant farmers, provided for an administrative machinery for implementation, institutionalized a judicial system of agrarian cases, incorporated extension, marketing, and supervised credit system of services of farmer beneficiaries. The RA was hailed as one that would emancipate Filipino farmers from the bondage of tenancy. President Ferdinand Marcos, 1965 to 1986, Proclamation No. 1081 on September 21, 1972, ushered the period of the new society. 5 days after the proclamation of martial law, the entire country was proclaimed a land reform area, and simultaneously, the Agrarian Reform Program was decreed. President Marcos enacted the following laws: the Republic Act No. 6389, or the Code of Agrarian Reform, and RA No. 6390 of 1971. Created the Department of Agrarian Reform and the Agrarian Reform Special Account Fund. It strengthened the position of farmers and expanded the scope of agrarian reform. The Presidential Decree No. 2 on September 26, 1972 declared the country under Land Reform Program. It enjoined all agencies and offices of the government to extend full cooperation and assistance to the DAR. It also activated the Agrarian Reform Coordinating Council. Presidential Decree No. 27 on October 21, 1972. It restricted land reform scope to tenanted rice and corn lands and set the retention limits at 7 hectares.
President Fidel B. Ramos, 1992 to 1998. When President Fidel B. Ramos formally took over 1992, his administration came face to face with the public who lost confidence in agrarian reform program. His administration committed to the vision, fairer, faster, and more meaningful implementation of the agrarian reform program. President Fidel V. Ramos enacted the following law. Republic Act No. 7881 during 1995 amended certain provision of RA 6657 and exempted the fish ponds and prawns from the coverage of CARP. Republic Act No. 7905 during 1995 strengthened the implementation of CARP. Republic Act No. 8435 during 1997, also known as Agriculture and Fisheries Modernization Act AFMA, flagged the legal loopers in lands and conversion. Republic Act No. 8532, 1998, Agrarian Reform Fund Bill, provided an additional 50 billion pesos for CARP and extended its implementation for another 10 years. President Carson C. Aquino, 1986 to 1992. The Constitution ratified by the Filipino people during the administration of President Carson C. Aquino provide under Section 21 and Article 2 that the state shall promote comprehensive rural development and agrarian reform. President Carson C. Aquino enacted the following law. Executive Order No. 228, July 16, 1987, declared full ownership to qualified farmer beneficiaries over by PD 27. Executive Order No. 229, July 22, 1987, provided mechanism for implementation of Comprehensive Agrarian Reform Program, or CARP. Proclamation No. 131, July 22, 1987, instituted that the CARP as a major program of the government. Executive Order No. 129/A, July 26, 1987, streamlined and expanded the power and the operation of DAR. Republic Act No. 6657, June 10, 1988, or Comprehensive Agrarian Reform Law. An act will become effective during June 15, 1988. Also, Executive Order No. 405, June 14, 1990, and Executive Order No. 407, June 14, 1990.
In Elpidio Quirino, 1948 to 1953, enacting the following law. Executive Order No. 355, issued on October 23, 1950, replaced the National Land Settlement Administration with Land Settlement Development Corporation, which takes over the responsibilities of the Agricultural Machinery Equipment Corporation and the Rice and Corn Production Administration.
The agrarian reform during the former President Gloria Arroyo's administration is anchored to the vision to make the countryside economically viable to the Filipino family by building partnerships and promoting social equity and new economic opportunities towards lasting peace and sustainable rural development. Arroyo signed Executive Order No. 364 renaming Department of Agrarian Reform to Department of Land Reform. This broadened the scope of the department, making it responsible for all land reform in the country. She also signed Executive Order No. 456 and renamed back Department of Land Reform to Department of Agrarian Reform, since the Comprehensive Agrarian Reform Law goes beyond just land reform but includes the totality of all factors and support services designed to lift the economic status of beneficiaries.
The last important topic that we are going to talk about are the issues regarding the Comprehensive Agrarian Reform Program. It is difficult, perhaps near impossible, to really pass into law a bill that affects the interests of the rich and powerful in the Philippine society, which happens to include those sitting in the Congress themselves. Some of the issues are: number 1, CARP is difficult to implement. Not 100% as intended. It is a good thing that the Comprehensive Agrarian Reform Law was passed to all. Indeed, it is a legacy of the Aquino administration, despite the fact that the Aquinos and Coangcos are members of the elite in the Philippine society. However, like most bills in Congress, this law is a watered-down version of the original one, which would have revolutionized a significant portion of wealth redistribution in the country. Number 2, farmers lack entrepreneurial skills. It is regrettable that no matter how noble the intention of CARP to uplift the living conditions of the farmers, it is still failing due to lack of educational programs. The program should have included training on basic financial management, their role in nation building, and better ways of farming. Since farming is a tiresome, risky, and thankless job, many farmers, after gaining possession of the land, merely sold it to enterprising ones who amassed a considerable land area. Thus, it was back to square one. Another setback is the failure of the government to provide just compensation to landowners, causing injustices to many concerned parties.